Today we've got United Way here today. I don't know if you've ever heard of United Way. We have them here today.
I have.
Chamber of Commerce is here. We got Jackson Certified. They're here today. We also have Marriage Matters, Jackson. Brand new opening of this is amazing, Jackson Candy and Fudge Factory. Whoa, yeah. Okay. So we got people that are excited about that. I thought it was on Mackinac Island.
Yeah.
Fudge Factory, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we get the chamber again. So we're going to start out today with none other than the United Way and Mark Daly, who's going to start us. Good morning, Mark.
Rick, good morning. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Oh, good. You had a successful boat race?
We had a very successful boat race, and of course, we always appreciate Walton Agency being a part of that. You guys had a great showing again this year, but it was a great way to kick off the campaign. Tremendous amount of people there. Jackson Radio Works, again, fabulous MC for us with the event, and they're always great supporters.
Who was that?
United Way, too. Scott Clow was out there.
Oh, Scott Clow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that was good. In fact, we didn't get into the finals this year, so we fired those two people that were in the boat race. So,
you did fire them?
Yeah. You got rid of them.
Did you? What was it? 2 years ago? Was your son-in-law who won the race?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I was saying that if he didn't, then it would make Thanksgiving really awesome.
Right. It would have been. That's right. But did it rain that day? It wasn't the most best day to go into the water that day, was it?
It rained all day leading up to the event, but just as teams started showing up, it stopped. I mean, it was a little overcast, but we had a decent day for the boat race.
Yeah, that's great. Must be Georgia had something to do with that. But
of course.
All right. So United Way, what's going on around there?
Well, we are off and running with our campaign. We got a lot of enthusiasm with our campaign this year. We've been out at several places already, telling the United Way story, sharing our successes, and really talking about the impact that happens when you give to United Way.
Well, I guess that's why we give, isn't it? For that impact.
Absolutely. Positive stories and changing lives and really making lasting change here in Jackson County.
Well, give me one of those positive stories that changed lives.
I'm sorry?
Give me one of those stories that changed his lives.
Well, we were just talking before we started, and we were talking about energizing education and just some of the positive changes that happens as a result of that great programming. Because you give to United Way, kids are advancing in their reading skills. They're not falling behind in school. So really, we're setting the table for these kids to succeed in school. And I worked with the program last year, and I actually got to see the young man that I was working with improve week after week. And these kids, they show up 2 days a week, a half hour at a time with their mentor, and they're there to work hard because they want to make themselves better too. You really wouldn't think that a second or third grader would have that type of a work ethic, but when they're there, they want to make themselves better. They don't want to fall behind. The young man I was with, my second week with him, he had already shown improvement in his letter grade, and I was giving him his kudos. I was congratulating him, and he just looked at me and goes, "Yeah, but I don't want to be dumb."
Yeah.
I'm like, someone told that kid at some point in his life, relatively recently, that he was dumb.
Right.
And he didn't want to be. And he was working hard. He got excited every time he saw his grade letter advance on his book.
Right.
It was as if it was Christmas morning. He was that excited.
Exactly.
And by the end of our time together, he was up to where he needed to be by the end of the school year.
That's great.
So we're setting them up to succeed in school so they won't fall behind later on in life.
Well, if you can't read, you probably can't go too far in life. So,
as you know, Rick, we've got a multi-generational issue of poverty here in Jackson.
Correct.
And education is the pathway out of poverty.
Amen.
And that's why programs like Energizing Education, that's why programs like Big Brothers Big Sisters, programs like Lilly Mission Center, programs like the Girl Scouts outreach program, and the list goes on and on. That's why they're so important to us. Because if we can make sure kids succeed, we can break that persistent cycle of poverty.
Yep. Couldn't agree with you more. You're not excited, are you?
Like I said, we got a lot of enthusiasm with our campaign this year.
Well, it's good to see that. You also have Ken Tolley today. Are Ken speaking today too?
If Mark gives me the mic, I'd love to, but he's doing so well, I don't need
I wondered about that. I thought I better mention that right now. So welcome, Ken.
Thank you, Rick. Yeah, I want to piggyback on some of the things Mark said. Energizing Education is phenomenal, and he's seen the individual growth in students. In fact, we measure the heck out of this program, and I can tell you that of all the kids in it over the last couple of years, they've gone up 6.82 reading levels on an average. Some of the kids have gone beyond their grade level. We've had second graders start reading at a kindergarten grade level, and in the year in third grade reading. It's that fast and that effective if you do it right. And Mark talked about the impact on the individual kids, but the program's even bigger than that. We bring in families as well, so the other kids in the family can get that benefit in education, so the parents can learn more about literacy. We give them tips on adult literacy through these family nights we do every month. And we were talking this morning that Northwest Schools has its family night tomorrow night, and they have 750 RSVPs already. Parents are coming into the school 6 o'clock at night to learn how to be better teachers for their kids. And we said, come on in, it's free, and 750 have signed up. Phenomenal movement going on here.
Is that for all grades out there?
Yeah, we invite all the parents, and we target the Energizing Ed kids and say, please bring your parents in, but it's open to all the schools, all the parents of the school, and we've been seeing 250 to 350 a night, but this is going to be huge, 750.
Is this United Way program?
Yeah, Energizing Ed was started by United Way in partnership with a whole lot of other folks. We don't do anything alone, as you know, Rick. It's a partnership with the schools. Big Brothers Big Sisters helped us form it. Jackson Public Schools dedicated some real expertise. We had a big community table sit down and say, how can we best help kids? We toured a lot of different programs. We analyzed different programs, and we found one that we liked a lot, tweaked it a little bit, and called it Energizing Ed. And in the last 2 years, it's just grown like wildfire. It's a great partnership because the schools get some skin in the game. They have to provide a classroom and a teacher. Volunteers come in. United Way's job is to round up the volunteers, and we thought that would be the hard part. But it's also a community partnership. We need your dollars and resources to make it all work. We do have a staff of 4 people to support the schools it's in, and the family nights are not free. We have to feed the families. That's a little bit expensive. So it's a real partnership, and we're looking for the community to step up this year and provide some funding for it.
It is terrific. I mean, I hope also you're trying to figure out how to get those kids that don't get there that are at risk. I mean, that's probably
absolutely
most frightening thing I think out there, that we don't reach those kids.
Well, this is the way to do it, Rick. I talk to prison guards all the time and Department of Corrections workers, and I say, what's the best thing we as a community can do to keep people out of prison? They say, teach them to read when they're kids. Most of the people in prison are illiterate or have very limited opportunities because they don't read well and failed out of school. You're 15 times more likely to go to prison if you're not reading at grade level by 4th grade, and that's the target of this program. Teach them to read by 4th grade, because that's when you're expected to read to learn in school. That's when the teacher says, read chapter 7, the test is on Friday. That all starts in 4th grade. And if you're not reading up to speed by then, you fall behind very quickly. And you don't have a lot of options when that happens.
Right. I think it's fairly obvious, and I think maybe even Jeff could say something about that. Bondrager's the superintendent out to Northwest about, again, if you can't read, how can you go anywhere in life, I guess, you know.
Thanks, Rick. I tell you what, I can't say enough for the United Way. You know, Ken just mentioned, Mark just mentioned, we have 750 people that are going to be there tomorrow night. And it's an incredible program that blends the community with our kids. So people understand it's a community effort for literacy. And, you know, it goes so far beyond that, and I could go on and on. Right. As you well know, I could talk about this for 4 hours.
We're not going to let you, though. We're not going to let you, Jeff.
But, you know, kudos to United Way.
Right.
Thank you so much. I mean, this is something that our school district has really bought into this 110%, as you well know. And we have special things happening. We have literacy happening. We have community bonds happening. We have people that have been a part of our community for years and years and years that now have a place to go, and they are difference makers in our Jackson community, and that's what's special about that. So, I mean, we got kids reading, and we have difference makers. I mean, this.
Let me ask you a quick question.
How's it get better than this? You know.
Let me ask you one quick question.
Yeah.
What happens to a child who comes to kindergarten and can't read? You guys recognize that child and bring them up to not read, but not as at the same level as some of the other kids, you know, and that. Do you know every child who goes in the 3rd grade that's in Northwest is going to be able to read?
Well, we have multiple programs going on, Rick, and you know, this Energizing Education is fantastic, but we have a 3-tiered system, MTSS, and that's something that is. That you know, I could go on and on about this, but it really is an intervention system that we have really put 110% effort in that we are going to have all of our kids rated.
Well, we got to do that on Jackson. Well, thanks to United Way doing this. Obviously, I mean, it's not your show, Greg. It's United Way's show.
Oh,
I mean, Jeff. So you got to get him.
Hey, Rick,
back.
Did you just give me the microphone or not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Greg made me do it.
I get it back.
No, but the campaign's going well. Then we're happy about that. I think what people have to understand about United Way too is all these programs that they're doing. I mean, this is in helping Northwest, helping other schools too, and Energizing Education is a community-wide program, right?
Yeah, United Way is amazing. It is a way. It's a way for the community to solve its needs. We don't have an agenda from Washington, D.C. or even from Lansing. We're a local board of directors that says this is what's important and here's what we need to fix. And our Cradle to Career community came together a couple of years ago and said we need to fix early literacy, that's one huge gap in Jackson. So United Way said we can do this. We have volunteers. We can get more. All we need is a community to support it, and we can change, and that's happening. So we're looking forward to our next challenge. We're working more and more on financial stability as well as that next step. This is the key to financial stability for next generation. Now we can start working on this generation as well. And the great thing about these efforts is when we succeed, everybody wins. It helps everyone in the community when we have better educational rates. We attract more businesses. Our property value goes up. It attracts a lot more tourism if you don't have homeless people on your streets, on and on and on. It's good for all of us. And so a little gift to United Way combined with the other 50,000 people in town who give adds up to a whole lot of good.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate United Way and, hope the campaign continues to go well. Thanks for your efforts, and what's this? I know. So we appreciate it very much, and so we're going to move right on right now. Thanks, United Way.
Thank you.